Like going back to what we were saying before, I mean, like me falling in love with doing shows and performing and stuff. You know how many times you go to a show and you watch dudes rap over their own vocals, stare at the floor, walk back and forth. You know, you can smell the social anxiety off of them. You can smell how shy they are. You can see how shy they are. It's like extremely obvious. And it's not entertaining. You know what I mean? It's self-indulging and it's masturbatory in a sense. You know what I mean? So, oh my God, like just like you said, I want to be that person. You know what I mean? I think we all started rapping over our own vocals and stuff
I
like that.
never
But I
did
mean,
that
at a
shit.
certain
But again, that was also
no,
because
from your first show even,
my first show's on YouTube. So that performance is there, June 2nd, 2012. But the thing is,
and it was all
yeah, but keep
instrumentals,
in
rather.
mind, I'm fully employed,
Respect though.
but I'm fully employed. At this time, I've been gainfully employed full time plus for like years at this point, right? Which is matters. I'm able to like buy beats, I guess, shitty, cheap, $30 beats stills. I was like at
Damn.
this point where like, it wasn't. I feel like it's not the same in your mid 20s when like half the other people are like starting at like 18 and shit. Like it's a weird comparison to make. But nah, I never did
I
the back
guess
vocals. I never did it one time.
respect. I mean, like I feel like that's just a safety. I feel like it's just a safety net for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Um, but at a certain point, it doesn't sound good. It doesn't look good, and it's fucking boring to watch. And like
I'm with you on
when you think
that.
about it, man, all these shows that we do, you know what I mean, and these little showcases that we've been like repeatedly doing that don't make very much money. Even when they do make the artist money or make the house money or make the organizer money, it's not always much. We're talking a couple $100 each, maybe. Why are we doing this? You know what I mean? It's got to be fun. You got to be doing it for the community. You got to be doing it because it's fun and you're enjoying it and your fans are enjoying it and they'll pay to see it again. They're paying money, you know what I mean? We pay 10, $15 to get into these shows and it sucks to pay 10, $15 for 6 hours to stand around watching guys basically masturbate on stage, you know?
Bro, I mean, I know what you're talking about, so I don't want to pretend like it doesn't exist. All I can tell you,
That's why I wanted to be I wanted to be ahead of that.
bro,
I never wanted to be like doing those two things.
I just want to say I went to two all girl shows prior to COVID. It was the only two shows I went to where that never happened one time. They were all ready to go every fucking word.
Yeah, nice.
I'd never seen that
Nice.
before. But it was the only two
Nice.
times I ever saw it was two all lady MC fucking shows in Montreal. Just throwing it out there for the sake of throwing it out there. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. I remember I impressed Tech Luciano because I didn't have hype men on stage with me. That was what he was like. You were by yourself. I respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never had a hype man either. So it's exhausting on the lungs. Especially you're a fast rapper too in a lot of tracks and it takes a lot of breath control, especially as a pot smoker.
Oh no.
To like not fuck up ever.
I learned, like I said, it's a virtue of practice. I used to put a lot of time into that shit. Now I'm like, I don't know how to memorize my songs anymore. Is more where I'm at. And that's not a virtue of weed, it's a virtue of volume. Yo, when you have 7 songs, it is fucking easy to remember 7 songs. When you have over 100, it's like,
Mm.
bro, I have to go remember the ones I gotta do live, not the ones. And then there's the ones you just, it gets messier as you get longer into it. But like, I just practice the shit out of every fucking performance, man. I used to run my
Yeah.
sets like, yo, for hip hop karaoke too. All this shit I would do, it would be like hours. Like I remember I did 15 hours for Rap God at Just for Laughs. 15 hours on Rap God. Okay, like that's the level of practice I used to like put in for any performance, so that I wouldn't. I did fuck up here and there if I drank or I got too cocky here and there. Like I would drop a 4 bar or whatever, but mostly I was able to get through it without backtracks and just remembering it.
Hmm. Hmm. That's good, man. Respect, because like you said, it's not easy, and that's something that you end up getting revered for, or at least commended for, anyways. That you're able to get up there, no hate man, no backtracks, no, like I said, safety net. You know what I mean? It's just you, your beat, and you have to execute it properly. I feel like if you're going to be a serious musician, you have to be able to do that. You have to make your music sound good on the spot. Otherwise, like,
Mm,
you know what I mean? You can
I'm
listen
gonna
like you can
say
listen to bands or
there's one.
hey,
There's an exception to that rule, and that is Waka Flocka Flame. I would pay, but I would pay money to go see Waka Flocka not rap at me. I don't know, but like he's just gonna be lit on stage, being the world's most hype up the crowd, fucking fun guy. Where like, do you really need Waka to spit those bars, or do you just want to party with Waka at the end of the day?
What I mean is, so obviously there's different genres, not genres, but I guess different calibers or different styles of musicians, right? You know what I mean? You have your meeker musicians, you have your wilder musicians, you have your in-betweens, etc., right? Waka's obviously one of those people that sits in a category of like a very hype live act. You don't listen to Waka Flocka's music for its content for the most part. You know what I mean?
Nah,
You're
it's
listening
all
to it
energy.
because it's fucking hype.
All energy,
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you that.
So that's you know what I mean. But if you're gonna be a lyricist, and you want to be like a rapper, musician, someone who makes dope fucking music, like you have to be able to rap just you and your beat and make it fucking dope. Like even Flocka, if you just took one of his instrumentals and you got him with a microphone with no, you know,
Yo, he'd hold it down though. Don't even get me wrong. That guy can fucking rap.
Of course,
like,
it would still be hype because he knows what he's doing. He's a master of his style.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Like his delivery is top notch. So I don't want to take away from
that. Became important to me. That's what happened to me. Was that became much more important than having tracks that sounded good, or having videos, or having views on YouTube or listens on SoundCloud and shit like that. I didn't care about that. What I cared about was that in the moment I can come with it and I could shut shows down. And that's what I focused on for so many years. And unfortunately, I didn't make much music. Well, back then I was making more music. Back in like 14, 15, I was still writing a lot of tracks and trying to make new songs and stuff like that. Even up to a few years ago, I still like, if you come and see my shows, that's where you're going to hear my new music. I'll have people ask me like, yo, dude, you know that song, blah, blah, blah. Where can I find that? I'm like, I've never even recorded that song, bro. You know what I mean? Or I don't have a proper recording of it, at least. But it's like a 7-year-old track that I wrote in 2014, and I've been performing it since like those Roddy Squad days. You know what I mean?
Fuck, Roddy Squad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's a whole other chapter of Jay DaVille that we haven't touched yet.
No, we haven't. But what's cool is I know what that means. Like I saw you were on the Roddy Squad cipher when I did look you up, and I'm like, fair enough. And then I just sat there for like 10 minutes remembering those guys, and I don't even know what they're up to these days. Didn't they go to the Brotherhood or something? They flipped it up into something else, or I don't know.
Well, those were dudes from Laval that two of them were tight, and anyway, they all kind of knew each other, and they started their group, and they heard me. We did a couple shows together. And TNT was kind of like ending around that time. All those dudes were hitting their 30s and kind of moving on to different things in their lives, or otherwise doing bigger things with their music, like Gats, for example. Anyway, TNT kind of fell apart after Doom and me, and we all kind of went different ways or whatever. It was no hate or anything. There was zero animosity. It's still like I fucking love those guys like brothers still. But anyways, there was around that time, Roddy Squad was like, hey, man, come and fucking work with us. We'll give you free beats, free recording time. We'll do shows. We'll do all this. They just wanted me to be part of their roster. So I said, fuck it. Why not? So that led to like another 18 months or something, almost 2 years of doing a lot of shows with those guys.
Yeah, I remember that era because that was when I was like the end of my performing run. When I decided I was going to go to work. I don't know how else to put it, but I thought the internet was a better move. Let's just say what you said about the showcases. I had similar feelings about in 2016, and I'm like, I don't know that I want to. You know what really was? They changed it from 15 minutes to 10 minutes. It became normal to do 10-minute sets, and I couldn't do shit with 10 minutes. I was like, nobody's coming to my fucking anything for 10 minutes. But they were coming for 15, so somewhere it just changed, and I don't know when it changed. I just know that one day I realized nobody was doing 15-minute sets anymore, and that was...
Depends whose show.
I'm saying
it depends who the organizer is and shit.
I couldn't find anything with 15-minute sets by like 2016. Not that but at that point I'm a little jaded too. But like I just didn't see it.
Since 2017, have you heard of Common Ground? Something else. It's another project I've been part of.
So
Common Ground is a showcase with. Huh?
As of like 2016, at the end of the year, I start behind that suit, and I spend about 4 years being an internet hermit, learning all this shit that leads me to this moment. So from that patch, fucking hip hop karaoke is basically about the only thing that got me out of the house.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm a host of. I mean, we haven't done a showcase since 2019 there because of COVID and all that. But Common Ground is a showcase of which I'm the host. The first one of which was in early 2017. It was organized and still is organized by Christina Elena on Facebook. Shout out Christina. She's just a big avid hip hop fan and university student who started putting together these shows. And the first of which she just kind of slapped together. She didn't really know anyone. You had DJ Shirtless of K6A as a DJ, and they didn't really have a host or anything. But anyways, Aspect Mendoza was there. Katir Rampar was there. There was a bunch of just like really dope acts, just like random little dope acts. Lucho Freeze, who was part of TNT at the time, was on, and he invited me, so I got to do my own thing and whatever. I got a really good response as per usual. But since then, I've been hosting that as well. And I've been helping to organize and book and do little things when I can. So anyways, in the small little bit of experience that I have of organizing shows and putting MCs onto shit, I like to give them more time. Not too much. You know, you don't want to give your single acts half an hour every single time, but it's like we had one where we had Low Pesci with Borden and Nomadic Massive at our show, and fucking it's not like we gave them 10 minutes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think Nomadic Massive, I think we both gave those guys to half an hour each because they have a lot of music, plus there's more than one person on stage and whatever. But your average solo act should have at least 15 minutes of solid material. 20 minutes of the same, right?
And the thing is like at a certain point, you're now years in the game, and you're like, bro, I mean, I was able to do a solid 30. Because, like, yo, if we fucking ended up...
For sure, but think about it as a spectator. You don't want to see, like, let's say you're not really into this act.
But what I'm saying...
You got to wait half an hour for the next act.
Yeah, depending on the show, it's fair. But I'm saying if you can do a solid 30, you're not going back to 10 minutes. That's more like you're not doing 10 minutes again.
Oh, no.
That's kind of like...
I mean, if someone invited me for a 10-minute act now, I'd be like...
I don't even know, like...
No offense.
I couldn't even convey the multiple styles I would rather show you if I only have one song, you know, that kind of shit. So it's like, I don't know. But it's more I can't sell those tickets, so I'm not going to try. Like, nobody's coming to watch me rap for 10 minutes. Like, I don't even think I could get somebody to come.
Cancel all of their plans on Friday night to go and watch their buddy rap for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
So I'm like...
If we could have rappers, like let's say at a showcase, rather than have 10 acts with 15 minutes each or 10 minutes each, and hoping that 10 people will bring 10 people and then you have 100 people at your show. If you book 3 acts that have a following in the city and they have interconnected followings as well, if we really build on this community that we're trying to build, then you get your 3 solid acts, you give them 25 minutes each with like a 10-minute interval in between. Yeah, you have a greatly organized show that will be fun, entertaining, and fun for the most part, you know.